Okay, so today we're going to talk about the truth about Facebook for business owners. And the goal is really to be able to equip business owners on how to utilize Facebook as a tool for launching their business's success, lead generation, awareness, all of that. So let's start off by talking about just some interesting facts about Facebook and then some useful facts, some different hacks that you can utilize, and then we'll just talk some more about some of the specifics so business owners can really get a good overview of how they can use Facebook.
Sweet. Sounds like a plan.
So something I didn't know was that the reason why Facebook is blue is because Mark Zuckerberg is actually colorblind to red and green.
Oh, interesting.
I wonder if that wasn't the case, if it still would have been blue though. You know, I mean, I feel like green's not that common of a color.
Yeah.
Maybe red, but
I don't know. Blue feels right.
Right? Yeah. It's hard to imagine it being anything else. So another interesting fact is the like button was actually originally an awesome button. Mark didn't like it. He was like,
That's not surprising.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever used the word awesome in his life. That's way too much excitement for him.
Yeah. Just
interesting.
Yeah. So some facts that are a little more useful are the highest traffic comes in on Facebook between 1 and 3 p.m. So if you are posting and you're using Facebook as your platform, then you really want to make sure that your post or one of your posts that day are falling between that 1 to 3 p.m. window. Another interesting fact is on Thursday and Friday, Facebook's engagement is up 18% as opposed to other days. So again, making sure that, let's say you're only posting a couple times a week. If you really want to optimize that, you want to be posting Thursdays and Fridays.
Interesting.
Yeah. A new Facebook profile is created every second. That's kind of crazy.
That's really crazy.
Especially given how saturated the market is already.
Yeah. Well, I think as like internet expands throughout the world, because not everyone in the world has internet.
Yeah.
There's this assumption that everyone has internet, but that's not true. So I think as it becomes more available, people are signing on and doing those things, plus all the, catfishing, accounts that people create too. So
yeah. That's true.
How many people can I be? Yeah.
That's true. So Facebook receives 8 billion video views every day. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. They're the third most visited website.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, pretty amazing. They also provide a click to chat ad option, which can be really helpful for businesses who are wanting to engage with people who have viewed an ad or viewed their page, and maybe have some questions. Just an easy way to be accessible. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I use that ad style a lot actually. So works out really well.
Yeah. Last interesting fact, useful fact, is the text of your image actually affects the delivery. So Facebook prefers images with little or no text. And so if your image has less text, it's more likely to be delivered to more people. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
So I know you have some hacks you want to share with our audience.
Yeah. So one Facebook hack is retargeting. And retargeting is basically, if you've been on the internet before and you've gone to visit a website, like let's say you're at Zappos.com or some sort of site that you're shopping on, and then you're suddenly on a different site and you're seeing an ad for that same product or service that you were just on, that's called retargeting or remarketing as well. And there's a lot of cool ways that you can do that on Facebook. You can actually retarget off of Facebook based on of people that are visiting your Facebook ad. So if they've seen your Facebook ad, you can retarget them on that, and vice versa. If you've have a pixel on your website and they've been to your website, you can actually retarget them on Facebook as well. So when they hop back on Facebook, you can show them your ad. The other cool thing is you can actually retarget people based on the engagement of the ad. So if they've watched a certain percentage of your video, you can say, I only want to show ads to people that have watched 75% of my video or 5 seconds of my video, or people that have engaged with my Facebook page. So you can set parameters on where you want to target people and then create custom messaging based off of that. So as an example, you want to retarget people that have watched 75% of your video because they're the most engaged. So you would create an ad that says, hey, I noticed that you watched my video on XYZ, here's the offer. Alternatively, you can say, hey, I noticed you started watching a video, but you didn't finish it. Check out the whole thing to get, this prize or this whatever. So you can reward them for watching the whole video. So you can kind of set up 2 separate campaigns that target the more warmed up person, and a campaign that targets the cold lead. So
that's awesome. Then it's like, especially if you have a call to action at the end, then that somebody didn't even get to that part, then you can make sure that the way that you retarget it is, utilizing that information.
Yeah, totally. 100%. Yeah. So the other hack is called ad creative testing. So most people will just throw up a picture of let's say they're a dog trainer or something like that, and they'll just throw up a picture of them walking their dog or a dog laying down on the ground, and that ad will start doing really well, and they'll just continue with that ad forever. But you can actually gain a lot of traction with ad creative testing. So what you would do is when you set up your Facebook ad, you would actually create several. So most people will just launch an ad. They'll use one image. It'll do really well. And then it'll start declining because that ad has what's called banner blindness. So people get used to seeing that same ad, and suddenly their brain just says, I've seen this before. I'm not even they literally don't even see it anymore. And so testing a bunch of ad creative can be really effective. And you can actually find out which is actually performing the best, because what you think might be doing well might not actually be the best one. I've experienced this a lot. And so when you're launching a Facebook ad, you want to launch several different creatives, and Facebook will automatically, with their algorithm, optimize whatever version is getting the most views and the most actions. And so then you'll be able to tell, oh, actually this one is doing better. But you want to be constantly, probably every couple of weeks, be testing new creatives to see which ones are going to perform the best.
That's awesome. Well, and that way that you're optimizing the money that you're spending, your ad spend, and not just spending it and throwing it out there hoping that it does good.
Yeah. And most people aren't even paying attention to that. They're just like, oh, I'm getting leads, but you're not realizing that those leads are costing you more and more as the weeks go on. So you start wondering like, oh, I got five leads this today. And then a week down the road, you're like, I got 2 leads today. I'm not really sure what's going on. More than likely it's your creative or your copy that's not effective anymore.
I think a lot of business owners don't realize how much management actually goes into successful ad campaigns.
Yes.
They really want their money to be used well. I think a lot of business owners think, oh, I could do it myself. I'll just, spend some money. But the reality is you're not getting the most bang for your buck unless you actually have the time to be really in it on a daily basis and make sure that it's being managed the right way, which most people don't have that capacity.
No, yeah, they're trying to run their business. And
right.
The one mistake I see a lot of people making is I just boosted my post. I just went there and boosted it. I'm like, nope, which we'll talk about in another part about how Facebook actually works. But boosting a post is probably one of the worst things you can do to actually get new business. But we'll talk about why that is in a little bit later. So the other hack is custom audience exclusions. So what that means is when you're advertising on Facebook, for local, it's a little bit different because you don't need to be as specific when you're doing local marketing as per se, as opposed to e-commerce, right? Where you're targeting specific niches that have certain interests and likes and stuff like that. With local, depending on your how big the geography is, if you're in an area like New York City or Los Angeles or something like that that has a ton of different suburbs, Dallas, Texas, and whatnot, big geographical areas, then you can be a little more refined. But for instance, if you are showing ads to people for a new product and you want them to buy that, you don't want to keep on showing ads to people that have already purchased, right? That would be a huge waste of money.
Yeah.
Or you don't want to show ads to people that have only watched or that have seen your ad before and they've only watched, 2 seconds of it or something like that. They're not engaged. So you can go in there and say, okay, I want you to show my ad to people in Dallas, Texas, in this zip code, that like German Shepherds, right? So that's the thing. So you're a dog trainer, you say, I want to do a special for German Shepherds training, maybe police dogs or whatever. So I'm going to show this to people that have a job title of police officer that like German Shepherds that live in this area. I do not want to show this ad to people that like Cocker Spaniels, or I don't want to show this ad to people that have already visited my website, right? Because I want to show it to only new cold traffic. So that would be an exclusion. So you'd say include people that like this, but exclude people that have interest in this. And that saves you a ton of money on your ads.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, let's jump into some other questions. So let's talk about how the bidding system works within Facebook.
Sure. So bidding is like an auction, pretty much. And this comes into play in a lot of different areas, especially during the holidays. That's why it's so important to build a list of people so that you don't have to bargain, you don't have to bid as high, because essentially the highest bidder is going to get the most traffic. There's a saying in marketing, it's been around forever, but whoever can afford to pay the most for a customer wins. So and that's the game that happens. So if you can afford to pay more, let's say the average, there's a bunch of different parameters in Facebook ads. There's cost per impression, there's cost per click, stuff like that. But let's say we'll go cost per click. So let's say the average cost per click is $1.50. But I go in there and I say, I'm willing to pay $3 because I know what my metrics are. I know that this percentage of people that click on my ad convert into a lead. That lead is worth a certain amount of money, and I'm willing to pay that. So I go in there and say, okay, well, you're willing to pay $1.50. You're just going to go with whatever Facebook tells you. I'm going to pay twice that much, and now I'm going to be able to win every bid against you. So it's an auction essentially. So if you're willing to pay more, if you know, this is where it really comes in handy to know your metrics in your business, your KPIs, is to be able to say, like, I know that when I get a new lead, I convert that lead at 20%, and that lead to me is worth $2,000. So now I can, if I'm okay to break even on a new lead, like if I have like ongoing services, I'm willing to pay $200 for a new lead, and you're willing to pay $1. So I'm going to just destroy you, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. So what do you think about video ads versus image ads?
Sure. It's an ongoing debate, and a lot of it depends on the video. There's a thing called hooks. So one of the things that a lot of people need to be testing more is your hook. So your hook is your first, like 2 to 5 seconds even sooner than that. Actually, it's the very first sentence that you say. So if you go into a video and you say, hi, my name's John with, such and such service, boop, gone. But if you say, hey, do you want to increase your revenue by 200% this month? That's going to get people's attention. So with video, you're able to do that, and you're able to get people's attention and get them down, hopefully follow your message if you're concise about your message. So that's where video ads really come in handy. The other part of it is you can track what percentage of the video they watched. So you can base their engagement on what you're going to teach them and show them, and how you do your retargeting ads and stuff like that. So they're really handy, but they take time to consume. So they're really good for that. If people take the time to consume and your video is engaging, you can get a lot of sales and leads off of something like that. Whereas an image ad, You can make it pop with color. You can just put your, your call to action right on there, whatever you want, and they're easier to consume. So if the copy in your image ad or the content in your image ad is engaging enough to get them to click more, then you'll want to do that. You want to use an image ad. So I recommend testing both. I've done a lot of leading with an image ad, or leading with a video ad, and then retargeting with an image ad. So if they consumed a certain amount of my content, I know that they're engaged, and then I hit them up with an image ad that basically just reinforces what I was telling them before. So as an example, we'll do a image ad, or we'll do a video ad for dog training, right? Where they're showing them doing commands, and if you want, there's things on there like how to get your dog to do this trick or whatever, or how to get your dog to stop barking immediately, right? So that's the hook, and they show the process or whatever. They engage in the video, and then if they don't buy from me right away, or they don't click through to my website, then the next ad is still having problems with your dog barking, so then that's the loop. It finishes the loop. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember I watched this video last week or 2 days ago. I need to get back on that. So it just reinforces that and reminds them that they watched a video that you shot.
Mm-hmm. Just so good, because I feel like, even in my own life, most of the time I need several reminders before I'm like, okay, now I need to actually create the space to sit down and do this thing that I've been putting off, or keep getting distracted, or
the average amount of time people need to see your message to become a customer is 16. Used to be 7, but now we're so ADD that it takes more times. So 16 times for someone to see your message on average to make a buying decision.
That's a lot.
So yeah, it's a lot.
Does that vary by like industry, or is that pretty?
I'm sure it does. Yeah. And obviously by messaging and stuff like that, if your message is powerful enough, and it depends on where they're at in life. Like some people need what you have right now.
Right.
Some people are thinking about it, but they don't quite need it. And some people are like, I'll do that in a year, or so. So it really depends on where the life cycle of the customer is at.
Yeah. So can you kind of walk our audience through the process of creating a Facebook ad from start to finish? Obviously, there's a lot of intricacies, but kind of just a general overview.
Yes. So I'll start with, it is a long process, but I'll just start with how it works. So there's the campaign. So when you go into Facebook Ads Manager, you want to start a campaign. So the campaign is basically the foundation of the ad. Then there's the ad set. So I'll start back up. So the campaign is what you want to do. Do you want to boost a post? Do you want audience engagement? Do you want to sell something? Do you want a conversion? What do you want? So they're going to tell you, like, these are what this ad will do for you. Pick something. So that's basically what you want the objective of the ad to be.
Mm-hmm.
Layer 1. Layer 2 is the ad set. That's where you're choosing your audience. Who do I want to see my ad? Where do they live? What's their tax bracket? Like, what's their income level? What interests do they have? Things like that. Where do I want to place the ad? Do I want to place it just on Facebook newsfeed? Do I want to place it on Instagram? Do I want it to go outside into the audience network where people are searching articles and stuff like that? Like, where do I want the ad to go? And budget. How much do I want to spend on this ad? And there's a couple different budgets you can do in terms of like, you can do an ad set budget where each individual ad set you set a budget to, or you can do what's called a campaign budget optimization, where you set the budget at the campaign level, and let's say it's $100, and you create 10 ad sets. It's gonna allocate $10 to each ad set until it starts optimizing, and it's going to automatically push more money towards the ads that are performing the best. So that's kind of that layer. The third layer is the actual ad. So that's where your copy comes in, like what you want to say in your ad, where you're uploading your video, your call to action. So do you want it to be message us for more information? Do you want it to be learn more, download this thing? So that's where you set all the visuals for the ad. So that's kind of the basic layout of the ad. In terms of creating the ad, things you want to keep in mind are the audience. So who you're trying to advertise to, where they live, if that's applicable. You don't want to do a worldwide ad. Like, more is not better when it comes to Facebook. Like, or any advertising, actually, more is not better. Like, get precise and then spread out from there. So if you have a $10 a day budget, just keep in mind that if you choose the world, or you choose the United States, or you choose all of LA, you're asking Facebook to take your $10 and find you a customer amongst millions and millions of people. Not a really wise thing to do. So if you can narrow your audience and then get some sales and then ask Facebook to expand your audience after that, that's a better route to go typically. So that's the basis. And then in terms of the ad set, or in terms of the actual ad, things to keep in mind are what you're saying. Your first sentence matters because Facebook only shows the first 2 lines in a newsfeed, 2 to 3 lines. So you want to be really concise with what you're saying, get their attention. And then your image or your video, really the image that comes across, you're thinking about people are scrolling, right? They're not there to buy something. That's not their purpose. They're on Facebook or Instagram, whatever, to scroll and to see what's up. You have to have an image stopping ad. You have to have something that says, oh, so bright colors, or an image that kind of like gets their attention. Especially with video, you can do, I like to do like an initial clip that's kind of like, whoa, and then go into your actual ad. So just keep in mind that people are scrolling to scroll. They're not there to buy your stuff. So you have to give something that's we call it a scroll stopper image. So,
Yeah.
And then you just launch it and see how it does and make adjustments along the way.
Yeah. So is there like a set amount of time that's ideal to give Facebook, enough data to optimize your ads versus you've been running it for too long and now it's dropping off? Or, does that kind of just depend on each campaign?
Yeah, that's a great question. So Facebook says it's 7 days. So they want 7 days to be able to optimize your ad. And I found that's usually about right. Sometimes you can get lucky and get immediate results. Like you'll start getting results in some way or another after the first couple of days. And I always say, if you have no sales or you have no action on your ad in the first couple of days and you've spent, $30, just shut it off. It's not going to happen. You'll know pretty much within the first 24 to 48 hours if it's going to do anything. And then at that point, it'll just optimize up or down based on that. But usually if I haven't gotten a click on my ad, or if I haven't gotten I don't necessarily judge if it's a sale, but if I get some sort of action, a lead, or someone's clicked through to my ad and they've shown interest, then I'll keep going. But after like 3 or 4 days, if there hasn't been a lead or some sort of sale happening or some sort of indication that what I'm offering is reaching people, then I'll shut the ad off and I'll know that I don't have a good ad. So one of the things that I look for, how to judge if an ad is good or not, this could kind of be a separate subject here, but how to judge where you're falling off in your process is if, this is especially true for e-commerce, but it works everywhere. If your ad is getting a lot of clicks, a lot of attention, but you're not making any sales or you're not getting any leads, that means that the page that you sent them to after they clicked on your ad was not relevant or was not the same, didn't give them the same feeling as the ad. So in that case, the ad is winning. So something about the ad is striking them and making them click, but something about my offer is not relevant to them or not relating to them. Something's off with my offer. So I need to adjust what they're seeing after they click on my ad. And then the opposite is true as well. If they're not getting a lot of clicks on my ad, but when they do click, I'm making a purchase, I know that my offer is probably pretty good, but my ad is not engaging enough. That's how
Mhm.
you kind of make those adjustments.
That's awesome. So what's the best way to be able to actually see all of those KPIs or like results?
Yeah. So just in the, so Facebook has a reporting dashboard that can get pretty granular. Like if you open up, you can do a custom report. They have default reports like performance and click-through rate and stuff like that, general reports. But you can actually go into the ads manager and create a custom report. So for me, you can see like I like to see how many leads I'm getting, what my cost per lead is, what my cost per click is, what my cost per impression is. So it's a cost per 1,000 impressions. So it's basically what's Facebook charging you to show 1,000 people your ad, and you can set up all those parameters inside of there and just create a custom report. So anything that matters to you, whatever your KPIs are, one of them is your ROAS, which is return on ad spend. So if your return on ad spend is 2x, meaning for every dollar you spend, you're getting $2. That's fantastic. But if it falls below, obviously 1, that means that for every dollar you're spending, you're making less money than $1. So that's not good. So you can adjust and create your own custom reports right there in the Facebook Ads Manager.
Yeah. So how much of that in terms of Automate Pro and our, I know all our platform obviously pulls all that reporting there. So you're not having to go back and forth. You can see how your ads are performing. And so how much are you able to glean from Automate Pro's reporting on Facebook ads?
Yeah, it's a great dashboard. It gives you a really good quick glance. It's not deep dive reporting, but you can log in there and get a really good idea of which campaigns are performing, what the ad cost is, what the cost per lead is. So you can go in there and just when you log into Automate Pro, you can say, "Ooh, I got these 10 campaigns running. These ones are not doing well. Like my cost per click or my cost per lead or my ROAS is horrible." So it'll pull in that reporting, and you can get a quick glance. At which point you should go into the ads manager and say, okay, I need to get a deeper dive and see what's really happening here and be able to make those adjustments to your ad campaigns. So
I think that's great too, because I mean, we've talked to a lot of business owners who are like, I don't know, I haven't heard from my marketing company. I'm not even really sure exactly. I'm just paying them every month, and this is how much I spend, but I don't really know on a daily basis, like what some of those KPIs are for their ads, or how to measure whether they're being successful. They just kind of like handed over all the control, to the marketing agency that's handling their ads. And so, I mean, I think we definitely value transparency and being able to let our clients see like, hey, here's exactly where things are at, and just having that open communication so that they feel empowered to make the right choices for their business.
Totally. And it's cool because it happens like right when you log in, there's the dashboard. Here's how many sales you've made. Here's your conversion rate. Here's where your leads are coming from. Here's how much you're spending. And it's not just good for them, so they can log on and see all that stuff too, but it's good for us because we don't have, going into every single ad campaign every single day, logging in, if we log into Facebook, if we just log into Automate Pro, we can see their data too. So we can log in, click into their dashboard and say, hey, how are things going? And be able to see their Google ads, their Facebook ads, see where the leads are coming from, stuff like that, and get a really quick glance and say, oh, that doesn't look good. Let's go and see what we can do to fix that. Or, hey, things are looking awesome. Let's, let the customer know, and, things are going well. Maybe we can spend more money on your ads and stuff like that. So,
yeah, which is, super helpful, because obviously we have a team who is in there every day for each client, making sure that everything's working the way it's supposed to, is optimized, is successful. And that way that gives us a good snapshot of where things are at, knowing that our team's in there, but we don't have to be going in, to get an overview every day. So
yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
yeah. Awesome. So what are some common mistakes that business owners make when utilizing Facebook ads?
The boosted post. Oh, the boosted post. People will, I won't say that there's never been results off a boosted post. That would be a lie. Here's how Facebook works. Facebook does what you tell it to do. So if you're going in there and saying, I want to make more sales, then you would do a conversion ad. You would tell Facebook, I want to make more sales. And Facebook is going to go out there and look for more people that are like your current customers or that are most likely to buy your product. That's what they're going to do. If you tell them, I want more leads, they're going to go out there. Their algorithm is going to work in such a way that it is going to go and try to find you more leads. If you say, I want more engagement, they're going to go out there and find people that are most likely to like, share, and comment on your posts. That's engagement. I want more video views. They're going to go out there and find people that are most likely to view your videos, so on and so forth, right? There's different levels of the funnel that you're on. So if you want people to just click on your website, like I want more website views, I just want more people to visit my website, they're going to go and find those people. The people that are clicking on your website aren't necessarily the ones that are going to buy from you, right? It's a top of funnel deal. So if you're starting off cold and you want to get sales, I usually do more top of funnel. Where I'll say, okay, I want people to at least click on my website. And then from there, once Facebook's kind of giving you some of that traffic, you can say, now I want people to submit a lead or submit a form. And now I want them to be sales. So you kind of work that funnel through. But the biggest mistake people make is they boost posts. They'll create a post and they'll just hit, because Facebook says, do you want to boost this post? Oh, yeah. Well, they're not looking for people that are wanting to make sales or buy from you. They're looking for people that are, a boosted post is basically a quick way to get engagement. It's basically an engagement post that's just a quicker way to make that happen. So that's probably the biggest mistake I see people making. And then the other mistake I see people making is they try to reach everybody. So many calls I've gotten on, it's like, so what's your audience size? Oh, 337 million. So the United States. Yes. And you're a local dog trainer? Yeah. Okay. So why are you advertising in Nebraska when you live in New York? Like, that doesn't make any sense. So, but they don't think that way. So they're just trying to reach the biggest audience possible, but it's not really an effective way to do that. So
yeah. It's good to know.
It is good to know.
So how can businesses ensure that their Facebook ads align with their overall marketing strategy or their brand identity?
Ooh, that's a good question. Can you repeat that question?
Yeah. How can businesses ensure that their Facebook ads, align with their overall marketing strategy or their brand identity?
Yeah. So image is the first thing. Make sure that your creatives match your branding, match your image. Make sure that your message matches your branding as well. I see a lot of people going out there and stealing other people's copy, and they're not in alignment with their messaging. So you want to make sure that you develop your own voice. And you can do that through, if you want to use ChatGPT and AI and stuff like that, you can feed it what your voice is. But I would say if you're using tools like that, or you're taking other people's copy, spin it to make it sound like it's your voice. You want your voice to be able to match. So when people call you or they get on the phone with you or they're consuming your other website content, it needs to match the voice of your brand. And you can do that really easily with copy and creative. And then who you target as well. Like, we're a faith-based company, right? We don't want to, there's certain demographics we're probably not going to want to target for us. We're probably not going to go after and try to promote the porn industry. It's probably not that's not something we want to do. And several other groups and stuff like that we probably don't want to be in alignment with. So same with you. If you are a gun company that sells ammunition and guns and stuff like that, you're probably not going to want to target, a lot of liberal audiences. So you want to make sure that you're figuring out who you want to speak to, and then targeting those people, and with your messaging, your ads, audience, all that stuff.
So what information can you give business owners about where to start with coming up with a budget for their ad spend?
Yeah, that's a really good one. Most people, again, are spending too little. They're scared to spend money because they don't know what the result is going to be. That being said, there are people that say you need to start off with $50 a day, or you need to start off with whatever. I have successfully, for the last 10 years, however long I've been running ads for now, have had pretty good success with $5 a day ads. My philosophy behind that is you're making Facebook earn their keep, right? You're making them earn that money. Now, you don't want to, I usually recommend launching several $5 a day ads. So say your budget's, $20, launch 4 or $5 a day ads, see which one performs better, and then increase that. So in terms of scaling, the biggest problem that people make is they go from, like, if they're saying they're spending $10 a day, they're like, okay, I'm getting 10 leads. I got 10 leads from this. I want to just scale this thing to the moon. So I'm going to go ahead and make this $100 a day, which does not work. So Facebook doesn't like that. They want you to actually increase your budget by a maximum of 20% a day per ad set. So if you're spending $5 a day, you can only scale that. You can only add $1 to it for the next day. And the next day you can add $1.25 or whatever the case is. So that's a very frustrating way to scale your ads. So the best way to fix that is to take that winning ad set and multiply it by 10 or multiply it by 20. So you would go in there and you say, this ad set is getting a lot of leads. I want to spend $100 a day. So now I'm going to go ahead and create 20 duplicates of this ad. But that's also where you have to pay attention, because not all 20 of those ads are going to work. Maybe 3 or 4 of them are going to do really well, and the other 15 or 16 will kind of like not do very well. So that's why it's important to be in there every day looking at what is performing well, so that you can go and shut those ads off that aren't doing well and then scale the ones that are. Now, the other thing you can do is duplicate those ad sets. So let's say you want to duplicate 20, I want to duplicate 5. Well, now I'm going to make those duplicates $20. So there's your $100, and there's less ads to manage. And then you can go ahead and go in there and say, okay, now there's only 5 ads, 3 of them are doing well, or 2 of them are doing well, the other 3 aren't doing well. So I'm going to go in there, maybe I'm going to create a new ad with different creative and see how that works. So that's a great way to scale. But you can start with a low budget and then just scale either by duplicating or by creating a brand new ad set and having a higher budget.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome to understand. I mean, it's a lot more intricate than I think that people realize.
There's a lot to it. Yeah.
It's like sending your budget or your dollars out as little workers. And if you really just send them out there without much instruction, without much management, they're really not going to accomplish what you want them to. But if you have a manager overseeing all of those little dollars that are working for you, you're going to get a way better return on your money. Which leads me into the next question, which is for business owners who are wisely looking to outsource their Facebook ad management. What are some tips on how to find the right agency and, how to go about interviewing agencies or kind of making that decision?
Yeah, that's great. So you want to ask for referrals. That's a good one. You want to get some history on what they've done in the past. I'm all for giving people a shot, but not with your business, or giving them a very small budget. So if you're thinking about hiring your nephew or something like that, who just opened his very first Facebook account and wants to try it out, great. Give him $5 a day to work with that and see how he does. But in terms of actually scaling your business and want to do a good job, you want to work with somebody that has some history. Interview them, ask them tough questions, like the questions that we're answering on this. Like, if they can't answer these questions, they're probably not going to be a good fit for you.
Yeah.
So, and make sure they're knowledgeable about where they can target, ask them budget questions, ask them questions about, how often are you in my Facebook account? Like, are you in there every 7 days? Are you in there, you're just going and checking things out once a month? Like, how often are you going to be in there? What's your reporting like? Right? Because as a business owner, if I'm brand new to Facebook ads, even if I go into the Facebook ads manager, like we talked about earlier, and look at the report, I'm not going to know what that means. Like, I have no idea what CPMs are and, all these ROAS and all that, like, no clue. So you're going to want to have somebody that can break that down for you and is willing to say, hey, once a week, we're going to get on a call. We're going to talk about the performance of this ad and how it can be better, how it can be, maybe what went wrong with it. Because total transparency, I can be running an ad for a septic company or a dog trainer in Missouri, St. Louis, that is killing it. I can go and run that exact same ad in New York and it bombs, right? So because just the way the algorithm works and the demographic, right? Like people in New York City are probably gonna have a different demographic for what they're looking for than somebody in Missouri or whatever. So different needs. You want to, in New York, you're probably going to want a dog that can handle loud noises, construction noises, like sudden movement, stuff like that. Maybe in Missouri or the Midwest, you want a dog that can, take commands for hunting and stuff like that. So there's different things, different demographics. So
I know Facebook makes changes all the time. I feel like they're constantly changing their platform. How much is the advertising platform changing as well?
I mean, it's changing all the time. So that's why you want to make sure that if you are going to hire somebody, they know what those changes are. They're staying on top of those changes. Because there's, especially lately, the last few years, there's been a lot of policy changes in terms of who you can advertise to, what you can say in the ad. Speak of the devil, Facebook's calling me literally right now as we're talking. So as of recently, you cannot target to religions. So you can't add Christianity or Catholicism or Judaism or whatever as a audience anymore. Can't do that. They still offer some, you can't say certain things, right? So you can't say anything that might come across as targeting a specific demographic or group of people, or talking against a certain group of people, or there's just so many things. And the algorithm isn't always accurate. For instance, we're running ads for a pressure washing business, and our ads got flagged for being targeting like financing, like the home financing niche. That's not at all what we were doing, but the algorithm thought it was because they saw a picture of a home. So you really have to be able to know what you can say, what you can't say, and be aware of all their policies because they are constantly changing. So you want to make sure someone's in there paying attention, getting the notifications. So if you're running these ads yourself, you're a business owner, you're running ads yourself, please turn on the notifications for policy changes inside of Facebook. Like you want that. Read them, get the changes, make sure you're reading those emails. Any email that says policy change or Facebook update, you want to make sure you're reading those, because if you get your account flagged or shut down and they are a main source of your income, you're done.
Yeah. Well, anything else that it's on the top of your mind that would be beneficial to share in terms of Facebook or Facebook ads?
Yeah, I would say your follow-up is really important. So making sure that when you are running lead ads or you're running ads to your business, the biggest thing I see, one of the other big mistakes that people making is they're not following up with the leads that they're getting. And a lot of the reason why that is they're not dumping them into a bucket or a CRM that has automated follow-up. They're just counting on the office person, or at the end of the day when they're done working, they're going to go ahead grab a drink and follow up with all the leads that came in. And you want to have automated lead follow-up. So that's the cool thing about Automate Pro, is that you can create a Facebook leads campaign or a Facebook Messenger campaign as well, like we were talking about the chat. And both of those things can feed directly into Automate Pro and start an automated follow-up sequence that asks them questions, especially if it's tied in with our AI. Now you can start an entire conversation with somebody automatically and be able to answer questions, get a new lead, make a sale, whatever your objective is, all using automation. And all you have to do is, if there's a hiccup in there, maybe you can jump in there or whatever and get into the conversation. But at least they're being responded to, and you're sending them down a path that you want them to go down for the final thing, which is a sale for your business. So that's what I would add. Make sure you have a systems in place to take advantage of those leads coming in, because they don't all come in 8 to 5. There's people that come in 2, 3 in the morning, midnight, all hours of the day. You want to have something that's working for you 24/7 to manage those leads and make sales for you on autopilot. And Automate Pro is one of those tools.
The best one.
The best one.
Awesome. Well, for those of you that want to find out how we can help you with managing your Facebook ads or implementing Automate Pro so that all the leads that you have coming into your business have the best shot at converting into customers or clients, then you can click the link down below or message us, get in touch with us, and we'd love to just help you out, find out more about your business, see how we can add value, and see if it would be a win-win for you guys and for us. So